My name is Rob Hirschbuel, and I am the advocate for the reigning, defending box office champion of the world, Brock Lesnar. Alongside my tag team partner in podcasting, Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Boo hiss! Boo hiss!
Why you booing? Why boo hiss?
I'm telling you, pal. It's funny, you were getting a lot of heel heat yesterday because you're the only one that loves Brock Lesnar. And the thing is, it's not even that you love Brock. You just love this antagonist role and the way they've booked him. And I mean, you can see past your own hate to appreciate the heel heat he's generating. I can't get past it. Like
you're honest to God. That's not right. You're coming from the wrong place.
Am I coming from the wrong place?
Legitimately, I like Brock's work. Always have, going back to the Kurt Angle days.
Sure.
2002.
I do too. I've never disliked him until I got sick of him.
Secondly, the stuff that you guys don't like about Brock, the limited dates, the not having the title around, I legitimately like those things.
Oh, see? I thought you just like being a pain in our buttskis.
No, I mean, I do, but that's not why I'm doing this. That's kind of why I do the Royal Rumble, the greatest Royal Rumble stuff, the CM Punk stuff, definitely.
So you believe in it, because some of it I just feel like you're just being a heel. I feel like you're just trying to be a heel.
I legitimately like Brock. I want him around. I appreciate his limited schedule. I like that it gives. Look, here's the thing. When you actually go to the blog on GBF's website, 103gbfrocks.com, I used the term because I wrote the blog already, and it's just waiting for the video to be inserted. Both heavyweight champions teamed up last night. I don't like that term, both heavyweight champions. We all kind of agreed there's one championship too many. So I feel like the second best thing to having two champions is at least having one active and one that's very rarely there. And he's not even the champion right now. He's just the beast in the bank.
Yeah, I never really liked him being the champion because it just didn't seem like it added value to the championship. It just devalued it, in my opinion. I'd rather just not have it. I think that would be a better option. But I will say this, and I will concede. For as upset as I was after Money in the Bank, as much of a groaner it gave me to have Brock Lesnar, if what the end result is more of what we got last night, like I was into that. He came out and he's jamming out, listening to the Money in the Bank briefcase. He was actually having fun. There are times when Brock phones it in and he's not interesting. And he and Paul Heyman were just rolling around in their own pig crap last night. And I enjoyed the fact that he was sticking around and maybe he's coming out. And then they promoted that he's coming back next week.
So let me respond a few ways to this. Number one is, I think that's the way, what you didn't like about Brock, how when he looks like he's phoning it in, I do believe that's what they want of him. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, to my knowledge, you don't hear about Brock turning down jobs, this, that, and the other thing. He comes, he does business, he works the number of dates he's contracted to, no more, no less. He's a once-in-a-lifetime performer with a once-in-a-lifetime contract, and I appreciate when he's there. And because
I will give credit where credit is due. The credit is due. Paul Heyman is a guy that gets cheered by wrestling fans, and Brock Lesnar he's so dominant he gets cheered by wrestling fans, and those two get booed out of the building now. Like they're doing it. They're doing the heel thing the right way.
So I promise you, I am shooting completely with my fandom for Brock. I am not putting it on. I'm having fun with it, sure, because I'm on an island, and it's cool. I love doing that, but it's real. This one is real.
It's real because we were having fun to talk about how you were getting orgasmy over him coming out.
I was.
Oh, yeah, I get to ruin the post-to-post universe's day.
Oh, no, I'm not. I wasn't orgasming for that reason. I was orgasming because the beast is back.
Yeah.
That's where I like him. I don't want him in UFC. I don't give a crap if he can beat up Daniel Cormier. I want to see him suplexing people.
I like regular schedule Brock. I like that he was here last week. He's coming next week. They're going to do that till Saudi Arabia, and then we'll see where we go.
Now imagine this. Keeping in mind everything we've just said so far, imagine this. Michael's talking about how, what if he goes ahead and he challenges Kofi Kingston, but I don't want that because Kofi needs to have a longer run, this, that, and he's doing a great job. Imagine if he cashes in on Kofi in or out of Saudi Arabia and Kofi beats him clean. Imagine that.
That would be amazing. Now, do you remember the last time those two fought?
Oh, it's been the Beast in the East.
Beast in the East, and it was a squash match. And I mean, at the time, and it was designed to be a squash match, and it should have been a squash match, and it was a squash match.
I don't believe Brock would be like Kofi who. I believe Brock would be like, you pay me my money, I'll do the job.
Do you think he gender-hooed?
No, I think Vince gender-hooed.
Okay, all right. So you don't think Brock, because I mean, listen, I don't like it all. I'm not going to even pretend like I'm anywhere near the island that you're on. But I do agree with some of the things you say. And yesterday you said something, I don't know why it's this way for just Brock Lesnar, but everybody on the internet seems to know what's going on the inside track with Brock, and they never do. And so when everyone says that he didn't want to fight Jinder, so he put the kibosh on it, they're probably wrong about that too.
I truly believe Vince put the kibosh on it. Brock is a guy, everyone thinks like, he left WWE to go he wanted to make his name in real sports. Brock wants to get paid. That's Brock's motivation, and that's totally cool. He's a once-in-a-lifetime performer with a once-in-a-lifetime contract. WWE plays into it. WWE is calling the shots. If you have a problem, even if he gender-hooed, which I don't believe he did, WWE substantiated it by changing it. But I don't believe he gender-hooed.
He didn't gender-hoo. Okay.
So that's my thoughts on that. I love that we came out swinging today.
Well, I mean, so did Raw. They came out swinging. They had me in the first 20 minutes. I mean, I thought that was good. And then Seth Rollins comes out, and you just think, okay, so it is Brock and Seth. And Paul says something about Kofi, and I'm like, what a throwaway line. And then Kofi comes out. And I was excited for Kofi at Mania. I wanted Kofi at Mania. I wanted Kofi to win it at Mania, but it never really felt like it was something that could be sustained. And he's doing a really incredible job right now, proving that it can be sustainable.
Just imagine.
I can't. They'll never let that happen, pal.
But just imagine. And let me ask you this. Who else could you say that about? Who else could Kofi beat clean and have the impact of someone like Brock Lesnar?
I mean, it's an immediate maker.
That's all I'm saying. And that makes it that now becomes a historic title run no matter what happens after Saudi Arabia.
I just don't believe it. I believe they'll let him have an incredible match with him, but I don't believe they'll let him beat him clean.
I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying imagine.
Because there were two other ones that I thought could have beat him clean, and it would have been good for them. AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan.
They don't need it.
You don't think they need it? You think Kofi does? Kofi needs it. Kofi does need it.
It could really go a long way to making him be the believable champ that most people want him to be, but he has some work proof still.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, they're definitely separating him. Notice Woods isn't out there as much with him right now.
You're absolutely right. They're fine. They may have longer plans for Kofi than I first thought, than probably a lot of us first thought. Well, time will tell.
So I thought it was good. And Brock Lesnar, for much criticism as I've given him, Brock Lesnar's overshadowing of the main event is the only thing that made that main event tolerable. Because when they say, well, you got a main event match tonight, it's Kofi and Seth teaming up against freaking Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley, I was like, oh God, that's a channel changer.
That has no investment there.
Except, Brock's hanging around, and you're probably going to see him. And that's the only reason we slogged through that nightmare of a main event.
Let me ask you one more question about this before we can put a bow on it, so to speak. You know how, like, back in the 80s, especially, like, a guy I associate saying this would be like Roddy Piper. You know how it's like a good heel is like, you want to see them get their butt kicked?
Yeah.
Is there anybody you want to see, you, Jerry, get their butt kicked more than Brock Lesnar over the past year or two?
No. I want to see him get whooped. I don't care who does it. I don't care if it's Roman Reigns.
Right.
I don't care if it's Braun Strowman. I don't care if they dig up Paul Bearer and have him escort The Undertaker out and have him do it again.
You just want to see him get his butt kicked because he's a great heel that's been booked like a great heel.
Absolutely.
So just throw that out there for everyone to chew on. You can just destroy me in the post show if you want to.
I mean, you make good points. I was coming in today to tell you that I thought that if we get more Brock like the Raw we had last night, I'm okay with it. Like that was, I really liked that overarching angle. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot of stuff about Raw last night. I don't know how you felt, but I really liked it.
I thought it was a good show. I thought it was too long.
They're always too long.
I know. I don't know if I'm going to have to come on the defensive here or not. We haven't talked about this. I'm going to go right ahead and say I'm all in on this 24/7 belt. I don't really give a crap what it looks like. That's not what's concerning to me. What does concern me is so.
Oh, did you hear what Rob said? He's all in. Rob, the AEW confirmed.
It's happening, pal. I'll be watching. I feel like I'm going to be pretty dedicated to watching that show. We'll see.
Rob, the AEW confirmed.
But, okay. Yes, I'm a stickler for reality-based stuff. You said yesterday I'm a stickler for the rules. I don't disagree with that. At the same time, the Attitude Era...
You're the stickler for believability, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. So this may feel a little counterintuitive or maybe a little talking out of both sides of my mouth, but I also love the Attitude Era, and we know that about me too. And the Attitude Era was home to some of the most outlandish, unbelievable wrestling storytelling we've ever seen. It's the buffet, like Eric Bischoff talks about. He views wrestling as a buffet, and if you don't like the high flying stuff, you've got the Daniel Bryans doing the technical stuff, and if you don't like the technical stuff, you've got the Santinos doing the comedy stuff. You've got your New Days, you've got this, and if you don't like that, you've got your big monsters like Eric Rowan and it's a whole thing for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the comedy that a hardcore title like that opens the doors to. And
sure.
we got our first taste of it last night. So I like it. How do you feel about it?
Okay, I'm not going to use the words all in, one, because I haven't gotten a deal from AEW, but also because I'm not all in. I am in. I don't like the look of the belt. I don't like that it's called the 24/7 championship when it's really a hardcore championship. These are all, just little itty bitty picky things. I want to see more than just that like melee that we got last night. Like that was a good way to introduce it, having them all run around and chase each other and like, but I do want to see some matches come out of it or some better hardcore spots come out of it. It seems like it's just a low to mid card title. I was confused. I love Mick Foley to death. I think he either misspoke or I became confused on some of the rules on this. Like he said, it's going to make the third hour of every Raw more interesting. But if you can only defend it on the third hour of every Raw, then it's not really a 24/7 belt. I don't get a lot of it. So I don't know. But if it means that you can have a Velveteen Dream show up on SmackDown and hit R-Truth with a chair so he can get this 24/7 title,
It does.
It makes it a little harder because the NXT shows are all taped, but I don't know what they're doing with the UK or whatever. But the weekends of takeovers and stuff, it gets more people involved. I'm not going to hate it yet. I'm going to make fun of how it looks. I think it's a dumb looking.
Is it that bad, really?
I think it's a dumb looking belt, pal. I think
That's what I see. I see people keep saying that, but I'm not saying I disagree, but I will say I don't care.
I've seen better belt creations on the downloadable content that you can get from WWE 2K19.
What's so bad about it? It doesn't spin.
Maybe that's what it is. It doesn't spin.
Well, no, I get hating the spinner belt, even though I didn't. I get it.
It's just ugly. I think it's just ugly. It's generic looking. It's cheap looking, but whatever. And it's not the hardcore title. Part of me is still just like, I wanted him to pull that ratty piece of crap out of a bag and be like, look what I found. Well, look what I have. Although I'd already known that it was green. I was afraid it was going to be like some kind of Saudi Arabia belt. I knew it was green before he pulled it out of the bag.
I will tell you,
walking in, he showed it by accident.
When did he do that?
When he was walking in, he gets out of the car and he's got the belt in the bag, and everyone's coming over, and somebody it was I think Zack Ryder pulled the thing to pretend to look into it, and you clear the belt, could see the green strap, and I was like, well, it's a green belt. Thanks, Zach. Woo woo woo. You
blew it.
You blew it. blue.
Yeah, I'm so less interested in what the belt looks like and more interested in what you can do with this, because this is, I know I just said I want less championships, but this to me could be so much fun.
I also get checked out when I see No Way Jose as a viable contender. So we'll see.
Okay. Listen, I mean,
I'm not out. I just think it's ugly, and cautiously optimistic. I like what they did with it last night. The R-Truth stuff, I didn't expect the referee to come out of the car.
I love just watching. You got Bobby Roode running in the back, and then like 2 seconds later, you see this whole trail of superstars chasing after him.
Drake Maverick all the way in the back.
Yeah, and he's trailing behind. Like I don't know. This is what I like in wrestling. I like stuff like this.
Well, there's already 3 champions for that. Titus is a former champion, and Robert Roode is a former champion, and now R-Truth is a is current champion.
Okay, this is.
I'm just keeping track.
The hardcore title would do that 12 times at a house show.
I know. I'm keeping track. Someone's got to keep track. I'm going to be the Dave Meltzer of this 24/7 championship.
I'm not saying we need to apply the same logic to the logic of the fewer title changes, the more valuable the title is, doesn't apply to the 24/7 title.
I am surprised that you are okay with this championship for the sheer fact that it is the 11th championship. Like they have 11 belts now. I mean, that's a lot.
Look, it's the women's tag. It's the 2 women's. It's the 2 men's singles. I have a problem with so many other ones that this updated hardcore title is not the offender to me.
24/7, bud.
24/7, pal. Wait till you start seeing how some of the best parts of Raw. My favorite part of Raw, without a doubt, was the stuff involving the 24/7 title.
Last night?
Yes.
I won't say that, but I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman fighting around the ring and chasing them through the back stuff last night.
Well, if you like chases through the back, you're gonna love the 24/7 title.
I'm okay. I can't wait to see somebody get pinned in the shower.
Maybe someone will get pinned in a ball pit.
Maybe someone will get taken down to a lake.
Maybe someone's gonna get pinned in the Mississippi River.
Yeah, that's good. I want to see Hardcore Holly come back.
I'm just saying, there's a lot we can do here.
You got 24 hours to learn how to fight, bitch.
Right here. That's where I'm gonna punch you. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, he was like right there. He pointed to the face. Well,
I think wasn't he pointing to Nash's forehead?
I think Bob Holly's he's so fun. He's funny. Great.
I read his book cover to cover and loved it. It's
Yeah.
so good.
I just think that's some real gangster stuff to say to somebody. Like, you're going to hurt them, but you're going to give them a day. You're like, you know what? I'm coming back tomorrow if you want my money. You got 24 hours to learn how to fight, bitch. I was like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing you could ever say to somebody.
Or like you're looking up 2 feet at Kevin Nash and telling him you're going to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. And
Kevin Nash knows you're gonna.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You probably had Nash shaking in his boots.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Nash probably tore his ACL thinking about it.
I can't say enough. If you're bored and you're looking for a good wrestling book to read, I recommend that book wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
What else is worth talking about from Raw? I did name the episode Titus O'Neil becomes first ever WWE 24/7 champion.
That's good. That's a good one. The 24/7 championship is one I think everyone's talking about today. Although Brock Lesnar had a big involvement. I enjoyed. They gave a lot of time to the Miz and Drew McIntyre, didn't they, pal?
Yeah, they did get a good bit of time.
But on a 3-hour show, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I agree. A lot of the other stuff I didn't think was all that great. I mean, Miz is doing a great job. I like Drew quite a bit, but that still has some ways to go if that's where they're going with those two.
By the way, I know what Shane McMahon's match is going to be at SummerSlam.
What are you saying?
Come on, pal.
Miz?
He's fighting Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, SummerSlam is still 3 months away.
Roman Reigns. Yeah, but Shane's got to have a SummerSlam match.
Did Shane jump off anything crazy at SummerSlam now that I think about it? He really didn't.
You mean a Money in the Bank?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
He took a pretty good bump off the top, but he was sliding down when he did it.
Yeah, but nothing that was like his signature thing. You know what? Kudos to them for doing that.
I thought they put on a good match. I just didn't like the ending to it, but they did put on a good match.
I agree. You had that rope break that kind of removed people from it, I think. But I liked the finish. Like, if you remember, my favorite matchup ever, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, SummerSlam 94.
94, yeah.
Do you remember how it ended?
I don't remember the ending of that.
So you had Bret Hart and Owen Hart fighting out on the outside of the cage on Big Blue. And they're kind of like banging each other's heads into the cage. Again, they're hanging on the outside. And Owen falls, but he falls with his legs that fell through the cage. So Owen dangles and Bret jumps. And
Bret wins.
Yeah. And it kind of reminded me of that. But like kind of role reversal. Like, even though Miz had the upper hand, Shane kind of slid through the cracks and won.
Yeah. Yeah. Shane didn't win as much as he survived.
Right. Yeah. So to me, I dug that match.
Yep. What did you think last night of, I liked the setup to it, but I didn't like the match with the moment of bliss and Becky and all the girls coming out. And
yeah, I thought the lead-in was good, but then they got into the ring and then the bell rang.
The bell rang. I did like, you keep running your mouth, I'll take you 2 dopes and your championship belts into the ring and I'll become Becky 3 belts.
That was a great line.
We need to get another championship on her. I want her to win the 24/7 belt. I want her to be Becky 2 belts again.
Well, you know what? There's no reason why she can't.
Becky 3 belts would be amazing.
I have a feeling if she won the hardcore title, anytime there's a referee around, Seth Rollins would have a good shot at having her on her back for 3 seconds.
Hey now, pal.
Hey now.
I'll tell you, when you look at a picture of the Alexa Bliss thing and you see Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans and the Iconics all there and Nikki Cross, you really get a good idea how ugly Nikki Cross is.
Brittany has kind of a hot take. Brittany thinks that Becky is the most attractive female on the roster. And I'm like,
that's fake news.
Yeah, that's what I said too. And then
go ahead.
I even went as far, so she said that during the Becky Charlotte match at Money in the Bank. And then Lacey interfered, and I was like, this one's way hotter than Becky. And she's like, no.
She is, though.
Yeah.
She is. I mean, listen, Becky's the hottest in a different way. Her personality's hot. You know, she's just fireball. She's just pistol. Just the way she acts is hot. But as far as like just looking at them sexy, I don't know how you don't look at Lacey Evans or Alexa Bliss.
I mean, she's a heterosexual female, so I can kind of get, you know how like guys sometimes like the skanky looking hoes?
Because they think they can get them.
Or whatever, but like girls are like, oh, they're so ugly. Why do guys, you know, it's probably one of those kind of things. You know, a bit more modest and, you know, not using her sexuality might be more attractive to someone like Brittany.
Yeah, it just depends who you surround yourself with. That's why Nikki Cross I always thought she was kind of good looking, but that's because she was hanging around Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf. And then you stick her next to the Iconics and Lacey Evans, and she's no longer press box hot. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Plus, also, Brittany married me, so her taste can definitely be called into question.
I think you're a strapping young lad, pal.
Well, thank you, brother, but we all know. Look at me. I'm a bald bucket of lard. Especially when I wear shirts. Like, look at my head. I got hair sticking up everywhere.
What people don't realize is what you're packing.
Yeah, well, that's probably why the wedding happened, but
I mean, listen.
Won't take that away from you, pal. That's not fake news.
I've seen Rob in sweatpants, and I don't know why he's not running in the Kentucky Derby sometimes. with a crank like that. Like
I'm very slow.
That's a purebred pecker. Can we say pecker and crank?
Why did you wait for me to be married in a relationship before you start dropping all these flattery?
Listen, it's your fault for not walking around in athletic shorts, showing out the outline.
My bad. Thank you.
What a ween! I mean, it's like a fire extinguisher, but it's like a salmon. It's like an entire salmon.
A salmon.
Not this kind you get at dinner. Like you catch a salmon, it's like that. It's that big. It's a big old salmon.
Something you might pose with Crush hanging upside down.
Yeah. He's got a great Rob and his great white peen. It's just like the jaws of peens.
Thank you, pal. I appreciate it.
He's a good-looking man. You've got a great personality. You, like Becky Lynch, also have a hot personality. You're a real firecracker.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Enough now.
And again, 13 inches of pink Jesus. Girth of a coffee can. This man.
Thank you. All right. What else happened on Raw?
He'll split you like a redwood, pal.
What else?
When he had lunch with Val Venus was asking him tips. And Val Venus was asking him if he could borrow his pump.
On that note, I hope everyone has a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll be back. What?
Is there more? I don't know. Is there anything else?
What house? We can't move forward from this. You're in a cyclone of me.
No, I can't.
Have a great... We'll see you tomorrow after SmackDown.
He's got the biggest meat in town, 24/7. 24/7 meat. Everybody. Such meat. It's so big, though, pal.